Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Vagarthaviva Sampriktau Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitaro Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Yenakshara Samamnayam Adhigamya Maheshwarat Kritsnam Vyakaranam Proktam Tasmai Paninaye Namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam. Okay. So today I thought I will give you a, see, so far we have looked at the general language. We have looked at some introduction to Panini, some introduction to various types of words. Then we spent some time on samasas. And after that, we came back and spent some time on more Panini sutras. Then we did Sandhi last. And then last three classes we've just been looking at some things which will help us understand commentaries, right? That's what we have done so far. So one element which I think I haven't, even Kridantas we did to some extent when I introduced Kridantas to you. Taddhita I have not done. So I thought I will step a little into taddhita. Okay, some idea, and then we will see what we can do further. Okay. So what is taddhita? It is something which is beneficial, hitam. For whom? They say for the grammarian. It's actually hitam for anybody who speaks the language. Basically, you derive a noun using another noun. So in English, they will call it a nominal derivative. Okay. Any natural language like Sanskrit, the grammar is reverse engineered. It's not that you wrote the grammar first and then the language came. It's not like, Java or C or something where you decide what the grammar will be, only then the language revolves around that grammar. Rather, we already have a language and we have to see how to understand the language. And then there's a certain, accepted norms in the culture. And those norms are reflected in the grammar. So if it is not within norms, it is called ungrammatical. Even pronunciations, local dialects, etc., don't find mention in the main language, whether it's Kannada or English or Tamil or whichever it is, I guess. Right? So every language has words like this, of all kinds, whether we call it Kridanta or we call it Taddhita or we call it Samasa. It's not that it's only in Sanskrit. But what is extra here is there is certain classicity towards it. And a person like Pani who could see the entire language could find similarities and come up with certain ways to look at the words. Right? Otherwise, the elements are there. So I thought I will begin with English today. All right. So let's say you hear the word Indian. What occurs in your mind? You can see it's related to India. That's very clear. Beyond that, what can you say? Tell me. What all can you say? If I say Indian, what can you tell me? Anyone? Can start. Yeah, Harsha.
From India, Swamiji.
From India. Okay. Anything more? Tell me more. Anybody? Yes, Ramesh.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. So you're saying Indian ethnicity, right? Again, you're using the word Indian. So ethnicity, what will you give me a sentence? He said from India. You have to have a word India in your sentence.
Okay.
Right? Then only you can, because I'm deriving from the word India. So you give me a sentence which uses the word India. Yes, Ritesh.
Swamiji, can it be ancestral also, like born to the
So
Indian?
so you say born to ancestors in India. I'll accept that. You can't use the word Indian to derive Indian, okay? You have to use the word India. That's all I'm asking for. Try. It's not hard, okay? Now it's easier because it's English. Come on. It's not difficult. The word from actually is very, very vast. It can cover a lot of situations, right? But, you know, suppose say born in India, would that be Indian? If I say made in India, will it be Indian? It is the dance of India. Will it be Indian? The national anthem of India, Indian. People of India, Indian. Cuisine of India, Indian. Music of India, Indian. Culture of India, Indian. The way of doing things in India, Indian. The weather, the muggy weather in India, Indian. The dress in India, Indian. The food of India, Indian. The ethos of India, Indian. Now, what does Indian mean to you? If you see the word Indian, what do you understand? Yes, Harsha, you're saying something.
Related to India,
Good. That's the first step you will say. Related to India. Beyond that, what can you say?
from, by, in,
So now you have to have. So this is what the difficulty and the beauty of taddhita is. Indian is a taddhita word now. Indian is a taddhita word. How is it formed? You take the you take the subanta word India. Assume, okay, subanta. To that you add a pratyaya na. What will you get? Indian. That is a new pratipadika. And what does it mean? India sambandhi ityartha. Okay? But kidrisha sambandha, that you cannot tell. You cannot tell just like that. Right? That is where you need now to know in what context the word is used. This Indian English. See now I'm saying Indian English means what? You had food. This is Indian English. Because you should say, have you had food? Not you had food. You had food is a statement. It's not a question. If you ask a Britisher, this is what they will call Indian English. We just put an intonation and we make interrogative out of it. No trouble. Coming. Enough. You understand. It doesn't mean coming. Coming? Coming. You understand question and answer, right? I don't know if it's done everywhere. Right? So now the question is, how will you understand it? How will you understand the word Indian? So taddhita as a subject matter in Panini Sutras, taddhita-pratyaya is the longest adhikara. I mean, among the longest adhikaras. It runs from beginning of 4th chapter to end of 5th chapter. 2 adhyayas only for taddhita-pratyayas. Kridanta is two padas. The pratyayas you have for the Ganavikarana, etc. is less than a quarter pada. Correct. So taddhita is a huge section. But what kind of words will you get there? You will get words relating in various ways. Correct? Now, even after you studied English for a long time. Now you know the word Indian. But if you read word Indian, you still need to go with the context. You cannot be for sure what exactly I mean unless you know my heart. This is the difficulty with using the knowledge of taddhitas well. I'm pointing out the limitation as well. Because at some point I thought I will cover it very elaborately. But at the end of the whole story, you realize that though you know every rule, when you look at it in a situation, in a context, you don't know which one it belongs to. Which rule should I apply here? Because many can apply in one place. You cannot pinpoint say this is the rule. And when you don't know who helps you, Bhashyakara will help you again. So finally, where do you end up? Without even knowing any rule, you can recognize taddhita generally. And once you know taddhita, then you if it's a common meaning, you should know it. But if it's a lot of meanings for a given word, then you have to have common sense and you have to see what Sampradaya has to say. Right? So this, now let us say I'll share something with you. Okay. I'm sharing, right? You're seeing my screen.
Yes, Swamiji.
Good. Then give me 1 second. Okay. So now, see, I showed you what is Indian. Okay. Citizen of India, born in India, made in India, outlook in India, way of life in India, people living, agriculture produce of India, road from India, cloth from India, the weather in India. You can make any of these, right? There are so many. You can also have word like Indic. What does Indic tell you? India related. Indic languages, they will say. Or Indology. What is Indology? Psychology, you know. Biology, you know. Right? Urology, you know. Right? Gynecology, you know. What is Indology? This is where logy helps you. It's a pratyaya. Right? It is the science of that. So your taddhita is in the sense of science of that, knowledge of that. That's one more sentence. Knowledge of India will be Indology, right? I can add. Now you can see, though I could call it Indian knowledge, like they talk of Indian knowledge systems. I could also call it Indic knowledge. So now you have two words, Indic, Indian, or I have a word Indo. Indo-American. What do you understand? Indo-European. What do you get from the word Indo? Indo is India, related to India. You won't lose that. But India became Indo. India became Indic. India could become Indian. So multiple pratyayas. One is na, one is nakara lopa, and one C comes. A goes, India, A goes, not nakara. A goes and C comes. Right? Here, Indo, T lopa. You know what is T? You remember what is T? Achontyadi T. What does Achontyadi T mean? That which begins with the final ach in whatever you're looking at. Beginning from there till the end is called T. What is a T in India now? India. A you should take away, okay? Vowel. Last vowel is what? A. I should only take A. But if you write in Sanskrit, how will you write? India. A only will go, okay? Then only T-Lopa won't work. I need to make it Indo. I have to remove Ya and A. Correct? So Ya Lopa, and then what will happen? O is the Pratyaya. You understand this business, okay? How the system works, you understand now. So you can have multiple taddhita-pratyayas to give relationship with a word. Sometimes only in a given context. So when you talk of a muse, when you talk of born in India, you probably won't call it Indo. Made in India, you probably won't call it Indo. But relationship, you'll say, or language, you'll say Indic. You won't say Indic produce, Indic road, you won't say. So in certain contexts, certain pratyayas. In certain other contexts, other pratyayas. And sometimes same pratyaya can be used in multiple contexts. This is what the taddhita makes taddhita fairly difficult to pinpoint, and this is the way it's being used. All right. Now, Indian, okay, we got. What happens in the other countries? Can I add N to every country? So let's look at that. Okay. So India is what? Indian. What is Malaysia? Malaysian. America? American. Australia? Australian. Russia? Russian. Sri Lanka? Sri Lankan. Korea? Korean. Italy? Try. Italian? Doesn't work. What is it? Italian. So what is the extra step? I said do T-Lopa, then add an, okay? Some idea I'm giving you. So first you understand in simple English, then apply in Sanskrit is not a big deal, okay? Easier for us to do. Mexico, what do? O has to go and AN has to come. Brazil, not just Brazil N. Typically, if you see it's halanta, then it won't just be an N. There'll be a swara first, okay? Because the conjunct ending doesn't make sense generally. It should end in one single, not a conjunct consonant ending. Sanyogantasya lopaha bhavati. Panini knows that. Therefore, Brazil, Brazilian. Egypt, Egyptian. Canada, could have been Canadian. Somehow they didn't make it that way. Canadian. Why Canadian? Rudhi. That's how the language is. Rudhi. All right. Belgium, Belgiuman. No. What did it become? Belgian. Right? Peru. Not Perun, not Peruian, Peruvian. Vakara Agama has come probably. If you assume one pratyaya, IAN, then there's an Agama of Va. If you assume a single no Agama, then VN is a pratyaya. Now you can decide. Do you want to present this as one pratyaya, IAN, and say it's an Agama of Vakara, or you can say it's a new pratyaya VN, or you can make it a Vartika and say VN. You understand now how Panini Buddhi would have worked? Because you now are trying to say, for a person of a country, I want pratyayas. Suppose as a country, I want to identify the nominative derivative, the taddhita word, know a person or a thing belonging to that country. Give me the pratyayas. I observe the language. This is the language. Now I have to decide what will be a pratyaya and how many minimum pratyayas I can, how minimal rules I can have. This is how Panini's Buddhi would have worked. Because Alpaksharam, but Asandigdham, no confusion should be there. Saravat, Vishwatomukham. Whole language he knows. He looks all words. Then he has to decide. So I'm just saying, giving you an idea, okay? Peruvian. Look at Spain. Can you call them Spanish? Yes. Can you call them Spaniard? That's also a word. So you have two. But do you have two for Sri Lanka? I don't know. You have Americish? No, you don't have. American only. Right? Okay. Nepal. See the pratyaya change. Nepalese. Japan. Japanese. China. Chinese. One alopa. Taiwan. Taiwanese. See, here you can find a commonality. Japan. Nakaranta. Taiwan. Nakaranta. Right? Halanta. Lakaranta. But here it didn't become Spainese. Could have become. or it is Spanish. One I also went. This is what makes for more rules. So if I look, Utsarga could be an N because so many N's are there. Then add something more, right? Look at that further now. Burma, Burmese, right? This is not Halanta. It is Ajanta. Turkey. Turkey is Halanta or Ajanta? Looks like Ajanta to us, right? E, Turkey, Turkey. So run, what happens? Turkish, not Turkin. Britain, AIN has to go. Ish has to come. That's why I said Tilopa, add ish. Okay? England. England really is a compound. Land of the English. England. And then you add a pratyaya to it. What will it become? England pratyaya is what? English. It's not the language now. Now the word English means what? A person who belongs to England is called English. The English people. That's possible even in India. But Indian is not a language. India is not a language. You can say the Tamil people, the Telugu people, the Marathi people. You do that. But you can't make it, India people here. I mean, India is not a language, I'm saying. But here, English. But when you see the word English, you have to now know, is it the English language? Which is a plain Subanta? Or is it a taddhita? Or it could mean English asya asti iti English. So the possibility. He has English as a mother tongue. Therefore, he's called English. It could be different kind of taddhita. Okay? Wales becomes what? Welsh. Ireland. Land lopa, okay? Irish. Finland. Land lopa. Finnish. Poland. If you take out land, it'll become Polish. They didn't like it. Polish. Now, lakara is agama or lakara is pratyaya, I don't know. That's the grammarian's choice now. How to reconstruct, it's your choice when you write a grammar. Given as Polish is the word, now you have to figure out what to do with it. Holland. What are people from Holland called? Polish? Elish? No. What are they called? Dutch. How come? I don't see any connection between Holland and Dutch, okay? If, see, obviously Dutch may have some other origin. I don't know. But from what I know today, people from Holland are called Dutch. They're not called anything with Holland. Therefore, I'm saying that's what I will call a Nipatanam. See, the word just falls into place. Why, you don't ask? You have no connection between Holland and Dutch. But one belonging to Holland will be called Dutch. How? Which pratyaya will you add? You can't add any pratyaya to get Dutch. Therefore, it is called Nipatanam. Holland Desha Nivasi means Dutch iti shabda nipatyate. This is how Panini will talk. Because he cannot give any rule for it. Okay? All right. Thailand. Land lopa. No addition. I. England. Land lopa. Added something. Right? Ireland. Only lopa. No, added sh. But here, Thailand, with Thai. Again, Thai is language. Thai people. Could be that too. We don't know. New Zealand. Now ER has come. New Zealander. Afghanistan. Land, Istan is land. Same problem, same idea. The people belonging to the land was called after them. Afghan's land is called Afghanistan. Istan is this land. Right? Pakistan also Istan. All Istans. Bangladesh, Indian influence, Desh. Land of Bangladesh, England, it's the same story. Right? So now what happened? Istan local, you get Afghan. Bali, Balinese. No, they're called Balinese. France, they're always different. French. They can't be similar to England anyway. They have to be different. Right? Israel, Israeli. Germany, why goes away? German. Congo, Congolese. What about United Kingdom? Anyone knows? Any word to say somebody from United Kingdom? If anyone knows, please help, okay? I'm not aware of anything like that. But they'll say UK. Proudly, I'm from the UK. I'm from the UK. They cannot say, if I'm Britain, I'm British. I'm British. But I'm UKish. Right? For certain words, you don't have an equivalent word. No taddhita is possible. That is why I said anabidhanam. Understand the word anabidhan. Abhidhana means a name. Anabhidhana means such a word doesn't exist. See, the ideas you can glean from English itself. Now, Panini will put them in some technical word we need to understand. So I'm putting the technical words here. Lopa, Tilopa, Pratyaya, Agama, Abhidhana, Nipatana. All these are words we use, right? Tamil Nadu. Do you have any word for people from Tamil Nadu? I mean, from Tamil Nadu? Like Indian? Yes, Bhuma?
Yes, Swamiji, Tamilian.
Tamilian is one who speaks Tamil or from Tamil Nadu?
From Tamil Nadu, sir.
Uh,
We
Are you
use,
sure?
Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji, we use.
No, you correct. So this is the language,
Means-
okay? So you see, if you ask me Tamilian, my thinking would mean Tamilian in USA is also Tamilian. He is not from Tamil Nadu. He is born and brought up in Hyderabad, but he is
Okay.
Tamilian.
Okay.
Possible. But I'm saying now the word
Possible.
Tamilian has two possibilities. Tamil is his language or Tamil Nadu is his state. Both are possible. You see the possibilities now? Just like Indian. So if we do have a word, then I will put that here. Otherwise, I'll say Anabhidhanam. People from Karnataka. Again, you can say Kannada people, like Tamil. But does it mean one who speaks that language? That's a very different taddhita. But the same word can mean two things. One who speaks Kannada, one who belongs to land where Kannada people live. Could be. But if there is no such word for a given pratyaya, I can say anabhidhanam. Okay? Yes? Somebody? Yes, Harsha.
Swamiji, for people from Tamil Nadu, I've heard um, two terms.
Words.
One is
Okay.
Madrasi,
Uh-huh.
and with a prefix before that too.
Uh-huh.
The second one I've heard is Konga.
See, these words, by the way, the Madrasi is Hindi. See, it's Hindi. If you use Hindi, you will get what? Madrasi, right? Now, but where all can you add? To Delhi, you can't add Madras. You can't, Delhi-E, you can't do. Won't work. So you have to do what? Delhi wala. Delhi wale. Right? Mumbai, if you get Marathi influence, Mumbai kar. See, Kongu is again a word. Within Coimbatore is a land. It's called Kongu. Kongu Desha. Probably from there Konga comes. I don't know. Possibility. Right? But see, these are other influences. If you go with the word Tamil Nadu, the modern word, I'm saying you won't. I mean, Tamil is a possibility, as Sampath said. But I'm just saying, I'm just trying to show you the possibilities. Okay. Looking at that. New York, New Yorker. London, Londoner. Tokyo, I don't know what they say. No idea. But I just thought, a sample to show you how taddhita works. Because it's very easy to follow. Now, you understand, with one example, you understand a lot. Because you can come with, if you just go with countries, you'll find many more pratyayas coming in. And if you want to know all of them, suppose now you were looking at this pratyayas, by knowing n, you would get so many. IAN, you'll get so many more. But if you knew, just I, how many will you get? Pakistan, Pakistani, you will get. Right? Some cases you might get, but very few. So I would say ignore the I. You learn about N. So you get a lot. AN you learn. This is how we will catch on or latch on to pratyayas which are more useful to us. If you want to know every possibility of a country's name, you have to know all the pratyayas. Okay? All right. Now let us look at another possibility. So what is this now? One which has the characteristic, what is the characteristic nature of a leaf? What do we call leaf? Leafness. Okay? Cold, coldness. Deaf, deafness. Sharp, sharpness. Dull, dullness. Numb, numbness. Tree, treeness. Pot, potness. Very common. Humble, humbleness, possible. But I don't know if our Microsoft Word will tell you correct it to humility. It may do so. Okay? Dexterous. I don't think I've heard dexterousness. Possibility exists. Dexterity. Beautiful. Or even beauty. One who has beauty. What will you, beauty, beauty. Maybe I should reverse these. Not beautiful. I don't know. So beautifulness, is it beauty or beautiness is beautiful? I don't know. You have to think about it, okay? I think it may be reversed. Salt. Salty. Equal, not equally. Equality. Pure. Pureness. Possible? I think it is there. Pureness, purity. Lax. Laxity, laxness. Both exist. City. Cityness. Can I say urban? I don't know. You know, strong. Strongness. Or will you say strength? What is more common? Strength. Right? Different pratyaya. Free. Will you say freeness or freedom? What will you say? Free. Have you heard both words? Yes. Isn't there a situation when you use the word freeness and some you will use freedom only? In certain contexts, you will not probably say freedom. You know, I have a certain, I experience certain freeness when I'm with you. Not freedom there. The meaning is different. It's not the same. It can mean the same, but it can mean different meaning also. This kind of situation also exists in Sanskrit, taddhitas, wherein you will have two pratyayas in a given sense, but the two meanings are not exactly the same. There is some difference in some contexts. Okay? Brilliant. Brilliantness, I haven't heard. Brilliance. Right? Wise. Wiseness. Wisdom. Two pratyayas. I'm trying to show you two pratyaya situations, okay? But then you see a word random. What do you do with this now? Does it one who has ran is random? It is not a taddhita at all. So just by looking at the form of the word, you cannot conclude it is dumb pratyaya. Okay? Seldom, not self-form, seldom. What do you do with seldom now? I know wisdom. Swamiji used to say, you know, see, Kudireiki arram in Tamil, right? Kudire is horse. Horse is called what? No. What is it? Kudire, gurram and arram. Kudire is gurram, right?
யானைக்கு அறம் குதிரைக்கு குர்ரம்.
What does it mean?
I mean, you cannot replace like just because it is yana.
So you cannot change use the same pratyaya. That's what it means. Sometimes pratyayas are very different. Right? So I'm saying seldom is not a pratyaya at all. I don't know how it comes. Could be some other etymology. Or it could just be rudhyartha. So same problem will exist in taddhita also. Every time you see an ending, you can't say it's only that meaning. Right? Quiet. What do you do with quiet? Quietness, possible. Quietude, also possible. Suppose you say quietness, quietude, are they the same? I feel there's a subtle difference in their usage. Depends on the context. Solitary, solitude. Solitary confinement. You won't call it solitude. Solitariness, you will call probably. But a monk is staying alone in Uttarkashi. You call it solitude, correct? Do you say a prisoner, a solitary confined prisoner enjoys solitude? I don't think so. So you can see that even though the meaning, if you ask what is quietude, I'll say quality of quietness is quietude. But the quietude, I think, is a quietness centered on myself. But a quietness is generally centered on things around me. Possibilities, I'm just saying, okay? Because only a person in the language would know how to use those words most appropriately, because every word in the language should have a reason. So if there's a word, like in Sanskrit, we have 200 or 400 roots which talk about movement. But each movement is supposed to be distinct. Otherwise, you don't need another dhatu. We just have lost that fineness of, the meanings being different. Okay? So you understand what is taddhita to some extent now? So what is this? This subanta pratipadikam. To that you add a pratyaya and you will get what? Taddhitanta pratipadikam. You have to decline again, that's all. Is this clear? Taddhita is clear? It's not difficult now, correct? This understanding you should have. Because once you have this, now, whether you know the individual words and rules or not, when you see a word which seems to be connected to another noun, you explore the possibility with taddhita. Aikyam. Right? What is it? Ekasya bhavaha. Aikyam. Maunam. Munehe bhavaha. Maunam, not silence. Munehe bhavaha. Mananashilasya bhavaha. Maunam. Right? Pandava, you know that all. Pandu, connected to Pandu. Kaunteya, connected to Kunti. Right? So, like this, you can have so many words and you will be able to gain some glimpse into what it is about. So, you know one word, you can know a family of words based on that. Right? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Now, let me share with you another document and see what we can do with that. Okay, happened here. Steva. So what is taddhita? It's technically a name given to a set of pratyayas. Okay? And the pratyayas are added to a noun, a subanta pada. This you should be clear about. What is a pratyaya added to? It has to be added to something. Why? By what sutra? Pratyayaha parascha. Don't forget that. 3, 1, 2. Pratyaya parascha. What does parascha tell you? It is after something. Pratyaya cannot be on its own. It is always after something. Now the question is, what is it after? What is it after? In third chapter, dhatu. Generally after dhatu. After a dhatu, when you add a pratyaya, what will you get? You may get another dhatu. Correct? That is called what? A sanadi pratyaya. Like young, son, etc. You could add a pratyaya to a noun also to get a dhatu. That is called nama dhatu. And then you could add a pratyaya not to get any new dhatu or thing, but it's just part of a prakriya. Like you add shap. You don't get any new thing with that, okay? It's only part of a prakriya. You could add a pratyaya in a given sense of denoting a karaka. You can add a pratyaya to a dhatu to denote a karaka, right? In that you have two possibilities. One, where you can add it only in the sense of karta, karma, or bhava. That takes you towards tinganta. Karta, karma, or bhava. No other possibility for tinganta. A tinganta shabda can only denote a karta, a karma, or a bhava. Denote means what? Stands for that karaka. Kartrikarako va, karmakarako va, bhavo va. Correct? What is the other stream? You take the dhatu, you add a pratyaya in the sense of a karaka. Which karaka? Whichever karaka. It could be kartrikaraka, it could be karmakaraka, it could be karnakaraka, it could be apadana karaka, it could be adhikarana karaka, could be any karaka, or could be bhava. But now the intention is not a tinganta padam. Then what will you get? You will get a kridanta pratipadikam. You will get a kridanta pratipadikam. Then if you have a tinganta, if you want to make a tinganta padam, you have to add tinganta pratyayas to the dhatu. And that in fact brings in the Ganavikarana. So what kind of pratyayas can you add to a dhatu? You can add a sanadi pratyaya. You can add a ting pratyaya, right? Or you can add a pratyaya which is part of a prakriya. Or you can add a krit pratyaya. Is there any other possibility? Yeah? What is it?
Stri pratyaya.
Good. It is not added to dhatu. I'm talking of dhatu right now.
Okay.
To dhatu, what else can you add? Sometimes it is just called swartha pratyaya. Possibility exists, okay? Nothing will change. Just the same, but another form can come. Rare. Rarer in dhatus. Swarthe nich. Hetumati nich. Swarthe nich. Hetumati is also a possibility. But that's all part of sanadi, you know. Nich. Yes, Deepti.
So, Swamiji, that stipo, that is two which converts dhatu.
Dhatu nirdesha. Ikstipau dhatu nirdesha. Correct. That's another possibility. So that is not nikaraka. It gives dhatu artha itself. That is predominantly used within the grammar. You won't see it being used much. Possible, but not common. Except when we want to refer to the dhatu. Correct. Valid one. Valid one. So these are the ones you add to a dhatu. There's also one for dhatu artha. There are pratyas for that too. Okay. To talk of dhatu artha, not the dhatu. But uncommon. Predominant is what? Thing. And krit. Predominant. And san. Sanadi pratyayas. Right? This is now third chapter. Third chapter we finished. The complexities come where typically when all these intermediate pratyayas, Gana Vikarna pratyaya, then some other pratyaya for some other reason, etc. All those come. Those are all sitting kacha-pacha in between, where you will find them all between 3132 and 3190. That's where all those fellows will be standing. 3122, sorry, 3191 to 3470s will be all your Krit pratyayas. And after that will be Ting pratyayas. What is Krit? Ating. Ating. Krit, Ating. It was all done earlier, refreshing your memory. All right? Okay. Now we enter the fourth chapter. I'm not showing you astadhyayi because I want to see your faces, okay? If I share, I can't see your faces. So I'm not sharing the astadhyayi, but you can look it up later. What is the next chapter? What is pratyayadhikara? Pratyayaha parascha goes from 3, 1 to all the way to end of 5. Right? So that being the case, 4 and 5 is pratyaya after what? Ni ap pratipadikat. That's what you will find. In 4.1, you will find this. 4.1.1, 4.1.2, 4.1.3, you look, you'll find them. Ni ap pratipadikat. What is that case? Pratipadikat. Dhatu ho. Which case will it be? Good. After. So pratipadikat paraha. So one common case is what you add after pratipadika. When you add after pratipadika, what cases will you add after? For what reasons? One is subanta. To pratipadika, you add a sup pratyaya. Sup. Okay. What else? You have a pratipadika, right? And in that, you add a stri pratyaya to make a feminine pratipadika. These are called stri pratyaya. Okay. In the beginning of 4.1, you'll find them. Stri adhikara, small adhikara. So, for example, if you see a word, balaka, for the same meaning, you want a feminine word. How to make it? You can't make it balaka. You have to make it balika. Why balika? You have to know the rule. That is stri adhikara. Or if you have, something like kartru. What is feminine of kartru? Pratipadika. Yes. Your face shows it seems to be right. What are you saying? Say it. Kartri. Correct. Rajan. Pratipadika. What is feminine?
Ragni.
Ragni. Rin nebhyo neep. Rikaranta and nakaranta. After that, you add ni. Ajadyata stop. At. If you have at, you add tap. Tap pratyaya. What is the it letter in tap?
Pakara with halantyam it's.
Correct.
And taka. Ta is also the nitudava. No.
No. That is only 2. Need 2.
So takara is there, no ta.
Correct. But that is not. Huh? Adin Udava is not right. That's what I said. It's not right because that is for need 2 only. And that will apply only for dhatus. Keep this in mind. Never think of Adin Nitudavaha for anything except dhatus.
It will be chutu.
Good. That is correct. Chutu is correct. Okay. So what is the content now?
Ah.
Ah. So if you take word aja, what do you add? Ah, aja. Right? Gambhira. Gambhira. Ati gambhira, gahana, gahana karmano gatihi. Right? So sometimes gatihi, gati. What do you have to add? Don't have to add anything. No Sri Pratyaya needs to get added. Gati is gati. It is already feminine. As it is born with thin pratyaya, it's feminine only. Triyam. And it doesn't need an extra Sri Pratyaya. Sometimes it can get an optional E. Right? So what is the Sri Pratyaya section? I think goes up to 4175 or 76, somewhere there. So that will be all pratyayas to make a masculine word into a feminine word. Or you can say, see, generally a word is born masculine. This is a gender bias, okay, in the language. Word is born masculine, then you have to make it feminine. But there are some which are born feminine, like thin pratyaya. When you add thin, you will get stri. Some other pratyayas also like that. If you add ghai, you will definitely get masculine. If you add kta, it is genderless. But the genderless is the same as the masculine form. But if you want stri, ta is ending in what? Ach. You add tap. Pathita, gata, chodita, all these will come. If it's neuter, means make it right? If it's shatri pratyaya, pathat, you have to add e. Because it is ugit. The pratyaya is ugit. Uk is it. Tru, shatru. What is shatru? Rikara is what pratip? It's part of uk. What is uk? What is uk? Aivun, rilik, eong. What is uk? U, then r, li. Right? Are you clear about what I'm saying? All right. So any pratyaya which has a uk as it will probably get a e. So this is how Sri Pratyaya section works. So I gave you a brief introduction to Sri Pratyayas, okay? While walking towards taddhita. The next section is what? Taddhita. Should be 4176 or 4180 or so, 81. There's some overlaps there, okay? We have to be a little cautious there, but I think it's 4176. My memory serves me right. Yeah, 76. Taddhita. 4176 to the end of 54 will be what? Taddhita. Huge adhikara. It's an adhikara. Taddhita adhikara. Which means what? Any pratyaya after that will be called a taddhita-pratyaya. Spashtam va. What is it added after? Pratipadika. You think. Stop. Now, when we are doing taddhitas, the way it works is this. We have to have, I will introduce that to you a little. I'm just doing it verbally right now. But once you understand, it's very easy. So now, suppose I say, Tatra jataha. Tatra jataha. What do you understand? Born there or born then. Both are possible. But my meaning is there. Tatra jataha. This will be a general rule now. Tatra is what kind of word? Tat is what kind of a word? Sarvanama. Tat is Sarvanama. Sarvanama means what? Sarvasya nama. So how will Panini make rules for taddhita? He will use Sarvanama. So it will say Tatra jataha. Now what does it mean? You say Bharata deshe jataha. Bharate jataha. Bharatiyaha. Sindhu deshe jataha. Saindhavaha. Now, what should you do? Tatra jata. You replace tatra with bharate. Okay? Whatever the nation, you add, or the state, that village even. Grame jataha, whatever, doesn't matter. Tatra jata. Now, what is this called? I will call it a lakshana vakya. It is a characteristic of what relationship is being expressed by a rule. Okay, I'm trying to make it very generic for you, so it's easy for you to follow. Now, when I say bharate jataha, in that sense, you have to add a pratyaya to the pratipadika bharata. You get it? So then what happens is this. When you add a pratyaya, you should add it to what? Tatra. Bharate plus a pratyaya. But when you add a taddhita pratyaya, it will cause the knocking out of the supratyaya at the end of it. Because you can't start with bharata and add a pratyaya directly, because you don't know in what sense. You have to know tasya, tasmin, tena, tasmai, tasmat. All these are possibilities. Only in one sentence sense you can add pratyaya. Therefore, you have to have a vigraha vakya. How do you do in compound? Same way, you had a vigraha vakya. Tatra jataha, you start. And now tatra will be, you replace it with the appropriate word. Right? And then you add the pratyaya. What will it do? It will knock off this supratyaya. Then what will you get? You will get the pratipadika. Essentially, you're adding to pratipadika. But you always start with a pada. Why? Samasa and taddhita are called pada vidhi. Samarthaha pada vidhihi. The sutra. It's a pada vidhi, means what? You can only add it to pada. Pada, when will you get? Suptingantam padam. Don't forget that ever. Okay? So you will always add it to subanta, but then that pratyaya will get knocked out. Because what happens? You add a pratyaya to a sup. Then what do you get after that? You have to get a pratipadika. All right. So then, what is the definition of pratipadika? See how it all connects. What is the definition of pratipadika? Long ago we probably saw. You may have forgotten. Okay, let's look at it quickly. Okay. All right. Sutra Patha. Are you seeing, or have I not shared it? Not shared. Give me a second, okay? I'll share it right away. Okay, share. Okay, now you see? Okay.
Yes.
But you probably see my screen fully now, correct?
Yes.
Let me change it so you can see only what you need to see, not confuse with other things. Sometimes I prefer that. You see your own face otherwise. Okay. Now, you see only the screen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. All right. So now, 1, 2, 45 or 6. 6 must be. 45. See, 45 is what? Arthavat adhatuhu apratyayah pratipadikam. This is one sutra defining what is pratipadika. Arthavat. Okay? It is not a dhatu. It is not a pratyaya, and actually it is not something that ends in a pratyaya. Okay? Tadanta vidhi will apply. Don't worry about it now. But What is it? Yaha arthavan shabdaha. Okay? But it should be what? Dhatu sangyakaha, pratyasangakaha, pratyayantaha cha nasti. It should be meaningful, but it should not be a dhatu. It should not be a pratyaya, and should not be anything that ends in a pratyaya. Then what will you get with this definition of pratipadika? Cha, na. Those are words you will get. You won't get many here. Unless you assume rudhyartha, means you don't have etymology, how you got that. Then it'll again be like this. Arthavat, but adhatu, apratyayaha, apratyayantaha. Okay? The next sutra is very critical for us. Krit taddhita samasascha. Krit taddhita samasascha. What does it mean now? Krit pratyayanta shabdanam. taddhita-pratyayanta shabdanam tadanta vidhi. Samasika shabdanam cha pratipadikam iti sanya bhavati. So now what happens? First the pratyaya was only cha and na. Now what? When you add a krit pratyaya to a dhatu, you will get a pratipadika sanya. When you add a taddhita pratyaya, you will get a pratipadika sanya. You add a sanadi pratyaya, it is not krit. It won't get pratipadika sanya. You add a thing pratyaya, it's not a thing pratyaya is not krit. Therefore, you won't get pratipadika sanya. You understand now? So only krit taddhita pratyayas when you add words ending in krit pratyaya or taddhita pratyaya will become what? It will become a pratipadika. This is making sense so far? Okay. So now what happens? So he gives, he gives you examples. Patha plus nul will give what? Pathaka. Kartru. Kru plus trich. Kartru. Right? Drish plus tavya. Drashtavya. Lik. Lut. Lekhana. Right? So all this kadanta. What is taddhita? You see. Guru plus an. Gaurava. Vainateya. Vinata's son. Vinata plus dhak. On three pratyaya. Three word you'll get. A son of a woman. Vinata's son will become Vainateya. Shaliya. Shala plus cha. Don't worry about what exactly there, okay? But what I'm saying is, in all these, what is important is saying Panchan plus dat, Vinata plus dak, etc. Shala is Subanta. Guru is Subanta. You can say Pratipadika because finally it will become like that. Okay? But technically, we start with a Subanta. All right? Then I look for 2471. This sutra tells you dhatoho pratipadikasya va avayava rupena vidyamanasya supratyasya luk bhavati. This is very technical, okay? Don't have to worry too much about this. This is the sutra which will knock out the supratyaya which was there. Okay? Because now you have a pratipadika. You have a pratipadika. When you add pratyaya, you get a pratipadika. And in that pratipadika, you will have what? A supratyaya. That will be subject to lopa. Similarly, when you're making a compound, ragyaha putraha. Ragyaha is what? Rajan plus nas. Right? Nas. Nas or not? Ragyaha. Shashti is what? Suauja, samautsha, stabhyambis, ngebhyambis, ganibhyambis, nasosam. Correct? Nas. That's what I'm showing you. Nas. that will get knocked out. Rajan plus Ngas goes away, right? And what do you have on the other side? Putra. Putra plus Su. That Su also goes away. Why? Because Supo Dhatu Pratipadikayoho. What made the sama sign to a Pratipadika? Same sutra that we saw before. Krit taddhita samasashcha. This is what makes it a Pratipadika. Once you have a Pratipadika, then any supratyaya inside a Pratipadika has to get knocked down. So now what will happen essentially, you will have a Pratipadika without any internal supratyas. To that new Pratipadika, you will add subanta, you will make subanta by adding sup again. This is technicality. Okay? So other than this now, you can see the word Pratipadika is no longer defined. It's over. Two definitions. Arthavat adhatur apratyaya pratipadikam, and next one says krit taddhita samasashcha. Two sutras to define what is pratipadikam. Why do you need pratipadikam? Because that's what will take supratyaya, that is what will take stri pratyaya, that is what will take taddhita-pratyayas. And sometimes that is what will take namadhatu pratyayas. Right? Pratipadika. Clear? Okay. So with this much what we have got now you know the basics of how a taddhita word is formed. Right? The basics you know. And how to go about further is always going to be a little more involved. Because now you will get into the details. Generals at one level. And then further you should know one more thing. The taddhita-pratyayas are from 4176 to 54N. Okay. Do you remember the definition of pada we saw long ago? Pada. What is pada? We saw it long ago. Do you remember? Suptingantam padam. Correct? But now I say, what is around it? This padam is having anuvritti. And you will find what? Na nahakye siticha svadishu asarvanama sthane yachibham tasav matvarthe. All this way you will find there is anuvritti of padam. Okay? And in that, this whole section happens to be in an adhikara. Don't worry if you don't remember all this, okay? This is all revision and some introduction again. This section is an adhikara called Akadarat Eka Sanya 141. Akadarat Eka Sanya. What is this Kadara? You have to know that Kadaraha Karmadharaya Sutra 2238. So from 141 to 2238, how many padas? 14? 15? No, 15 nasti. That is only in Brihadaranyaka, okay? Here you have what? 21. 14, 21, 22, 23. Is it 23? No, 22. 22 end is 238. Therefore, what? From 141 means what? 14 and 21 and 22. In these three padas, generally a given name is only one. You cannot have multiple definitions for one name. Eka Sangya. So if I call something a pada, I cannot call the same thing a pratipadika. That's the general idea. Any sangya given, any name given in these three padas, 141 through 22, the names will be unique. There are exceptions. As usual, there are exceptions, okay? But this is the rule. Okay. Why is this important? Because Now we saw Suptingantam Padam. This is not a problem. Go further. Naha kye. Don't worry about this also. See, teacher, don't worry about this also. Suadishu Sarunamastane. Keep this in mind. We have talked about this earlier, okay? Next sutra is important. Yachi bham. Yachi bham. This is what? Suadishu Asarunamastane. What is a Suadi? Su is the beginning of which? Su is the beginning of which? Su, where is Su? You should remember Su, okay? Su, just where is that? 4-1. Right? So if you are interested in that, where should I go? Sumadishu, I should go to 4-1 and you will see where 4-1-2. Swamaujas, right? Swamaujas is Swamaujas, okay? Su plus O will become what? Su plus O. What's the Sandhi rule? Eko Yanachi. Hopefully you don't forget that sutra. Su plus O will become what? Swau. So you get Swauj, Swaujasam. You can't read the sutra, okay? Unless you know what it stands. It's a tongue twister. But if you know, I will read it as what? Swaujas, Amauchas. Now I can read. If you ask me to read as it is, trouble. Swaujasam, Amauchas. Tongue doesn't roll easily. You know? You have to practice very hard. With Sandhi is not easy. But no. Now, Suadi means what? Beginning with Su. But is it only till here? No. The Suadi goes all the way up to 54160. Okay? Therefore, Suadi stands for all pratyayas almost in 4, 5, and 6. Almost. Okay? When these pratyayas follow Suadishu, Yachi bham. Yachi. What is Yachi now? We remember Yach. What is Yach now? Don't try to find a don't try to find a pratyahara. What's a pratyahara? Ach. All called pratyaharas. All right. What is Yach now? Yashcha, achcha. Dvandva samasa. Yakarascha, achcha. You will get what? Yach. Yakara and ach. What is ach? All vowels. That hopefully you all know. What is yakara? You know. So, yachi. 7th case. Yachi. Therefore, I have to use tadadhi-vidhi. So it become yajadau pratyaye. Yakara ach. Adau pratyaye. Pare. प्रत्यय से पूर्वः यः अस्ति अंगः तस्य भ संज्ञा भवति. What is bha? Not pratyaya begin with ya and ach. That which precedes a pratyaya beginning with ya or ach. But not in 3rd chapter, Suadishu, 4th chapter, 5th chapter, 6th chapter. That whatever precedes that such a pratyaya is called what? Bha. Now, this bha and pada are both under 1-4. What is 1-4 adhikara? 1-4, 1-2, 2-8, 2 end. Akadarat eka sanya. Akadarat eka sanya. What does it tell you? In this section, what is pada cannot be bha. What is bha cannot be pada. You can be daughter-in-law and daughter, but you cannot have both here, okay? Bha and pada are different. If it is another section, they can be both. 2 names you can give for one. It's not uncommon. right? I can give it 2 sangyas. I can give it 3 sangyas also, no problem. But in akadarat eka sangya, unless there's an exception, ekameva sangya. Therefore, what does it tell you now? What is bha is not pada. What is pada is not bha. Till now, I have not bothered you much with bha. I have told you a little, and I have showed you how in Subanta it makes a difference. There's a section for Sarvanamasthana. What is Sarvanamasthana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 2, 2. In masculine and feminine. But if it's neuter, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2 1, 2, 2, 2. She. She is Sarvanamasthana. You may not remember, okay, because it's all too long ago and we don't use it every day. But just reminding you. I'm taking this class to, generally go all around. All right. So then, what happens now is whole taddhita-pratyayas are sitting in that section, suadi. Therefore, anytime we say taddhita-pratyaya, you should recognize now, is it ajadi or yajadi? Means yakaradi or achadi, yajadi. If it is yajadi, then whatever pratipadika is before that will get what sangya? Bha sangya. Very important. Make a note. So when you're doing taddhitas, very useful to remember whether it will get bha or not bha. If it is not bha, what will it be? Suadishu asarvanamasthane padam. Pada sangya or bha sangya? Pada sangya means all the padanta sandhi rules will apply. If it is bha sangya, they don't apply. Bha has its own rules. Bhasya. Adhikara. One big adhikara and 6 1. So you should remember what? Is it bha or is it pada? How will you know? Just look at the pratyaya. Content of the pratyaya. Suppose I say pratyaya is tal. Pratyaya is tal. What is the content of the pratyaya? One of you. Unmute and say. Yes. Go ahead, Harsha. Aha. 1 second. Tell me why. Good thinking, but why? Tal. Lakara is it by halantyam.
Halantyam.
Then takara is it by what? Someone else can help him. Yes, Ramesh.
Ashakko taddhite.
Good. Lashak taddhite. Now, tal happens with taddhita pratyaya, which I didn't say to you. So you're okay. If you say, now I'm telling you it's taddhita pratyaya. Now what will you say?
Ta.
Ta. Good. Is ta yajadi?
No.
No. Therefore, it is going to be what? Not bha. What precedes it will not be bha. You understand what I'm saying? Another pratyaya I'll give you now. Shan. Shan. What is the content? Yes, Deepti.
Yakara.
Yeah. What are the rules for dropping these letters?
The last one is to halantyam it.
Good.
And lashakva taddhite is shakara.
Shanya. Murdhana shakara now.
Then it will be Murdhana.
Hmm?
Murdhana shakara.
Murdhana shakara. Upadeshe ajanunasika it. First sutra. Second is what? Halantyam it. Then na vibhaktau tusmaha. We don't need that. Adir nitudavaha. We don't need that. Then what? Shaf pratyayasya. Not commonly you see in sutra, but you should remember, okay? Shaf pratyayasya. Murdhanya shakara. Okay? Suppose it was sha, as you said, not murdhanya. What would happen?
Then it will become a shit pratyaya.
Wait. By what sutra will shakara be it?
Lashakvatat atadhite.
You get the point now?
Yeah.
So sha, if it was murdhanya, only it will become it. If it is talavya, it won't be it. You will be in trouble, okay?
Okay.
So you have to have murdhanya there. All right. Shan, murdhanya shakara. What's the content? Yeah, what you said is correct, but we had to arrive at it properly so that there is no confusion. All right. Is it what precedes here will be bha or not bha?
It would be bha.
It would be. Why? Yachibham. Good. Remember now Yachibham? You have to remember Yachibham well now. But taddhita, if you want to understand it better, may not be now, okay? But good idea to know. Both for Subanta and for any operation on Pratipadika, it's good to know whether that Pratipadika after adding Pratyaya, will it be a Bha or a Pada? Because that will determine what rules can apply. Another thing you should know is what when doing taddhita-pratyayas? What are the ith letters? Now I said Shani. Based on your current knowledge, what does it mean to you? What can it do? What are the ith letters you keep in mind now? Shakara and Nyakara. Nyakara ith, what will it do? Yes, Deepti.
It will bring in vriddhi, Swamiji.
Good. By what rule?
Achonniti.
Achonyati. Good. Very good. Achonyati will bring in a rule, which is vriddhi. Vriddhi of what?
In taddhita, it will
Taddhiteshu acham
adehi.
adehi. Good. And not only for nyit and nit. For what else will it bring in vriddhi? Kiti cha. So nyit, nit, and kit pratyayas will bring in adi vriddhi in a when a taddhita pratyaya of that kind follows. If it is bha, what precedes? It will undergo bha karya. If it is pada, it will go undergo pada karya. Spashtam va. See, without writing a word, we are doing spashtam, which is nice. I like this way. No. This is how it should flow in your head. It will take time, but that's the way it flows. Once this basics are clear. Now, one more purpose of these ith letters and even swaras sometimes in the letters is to figure out what will happen in feminine gender. So depending on that, the feminine will take ni or tap or what will take you. Sometimes it makes a difference. So everything will look similar, but feminine word will become different. Okay. We are not, right now, we will not worry about that. Okay. So with this much background, now what's required in taddhita in general is you have to know, what is the meaning? What is the sambandha between the pratipadika and the taddhita pada? What sambandha is the pratyaya said for? Like I tell you, tatra jataha, tena kritaha, tasya idam, tasya bhavaha, tadasya asti. This is what you'll find. One sarunama with one case followed by another word. And what you do? Replace sarunama with whatever word you're interested in. So if I say tasya apatyam puman, his son. What should we do now? If you have Rama, Ramasya apatyam puman. If you have Bhima, Bhimasya apatyam puman. If you have Dasharatha, Dasharathasya apatyam. Varunasya apatyam. Kaha Bhrikurvai Varunihi. Varunam Pitaram Upasasara. So Varuna is Pita. Who is his son? Bhriguhu. What is his name? Varunihi. What kind of a name? Taddhita name. Then you have what? Shikshavalli, what do you have? Maudgalyaha. Nako Maudgalyaha. Who is Maudgalyaha? Mudgalasya apatya maudgalya. You go look Bhashyam, Bhashyakara will do it for you. Okay? So, like this, you will find a lot of words. Or you see now, Athashvalayano Bhagavantam Parameshtinam. They're not son, Gotrapatya. One who belongs to that Gotra, Ashvalayana Gotra, will become Ashvalayana. Gotrapatyam. Or you find Mundaka, what do you find? Who is the student? Shaunako vai Mahashalaha. Right? Shunaka will give you Shaunaka. What is in Katha? Kathopanishad. What is the father's name? What is the son's name?
Vajashra.
Vajashravas. Right? What is Vajashravas there?
The one who performs yajna.
One who has the fame for distributing annam. Right? But there again, Audalakihi, Arunihi. Chandogya also, Arunihi. Who is Aruni? Aruna Sapatya. Arunasya Patyam Puman Arunihi. So now what is the Lakshana Vakya? Tasya Apatyam. One sentence. Tasya Apatyam. And once you Tasya Apatyam, what pratyayas are possible? Utsarga is an. What does Utsarga mean? What does Utsarga mean? General rule. General rule is an. For what? Tasya Apatyam. His child. Then you have a lot of apavadas. If the pratipadika is adanta, don't use an. Ataha ing. Get it? Ataha ing. That's a sutra. So what does it tell you? Adantat pratipadikat ing bhavati. Now you take Dasharatha. Dasharatha plus ing. What do you get? What is the content? Nyakara is it? Halantyam. What is the content? E. Dasharatha plus ing. What will happen to Dasharatha? The akara first will do it with the Dasharatha. Then add E. Should become what? Dasharathe. Watch out. Should become Dasarathe. How does it not become Dasharathi? How does it become Dasharathi? What should happen? Should go. How will it go? Some Bha Karya will happen. How Bha Karya will happen? What is following? E. E is what? Ach or not? Yachi Bham. You see how the key is now? You need to understand this. What is happening? Is it Bha or not Bha? What is the It letters? It letters will cause some work. This Bha status will cause some work. Then Sandhi may cause some work. Right? And what is the meaning? For that you need the Lakshana Vakya. Tasya Patyam Puman. Another Lakshana Vakya. Tasya Bhavaha. This is its characteristic. What pratyaya should I use? Tvatalau. Two pratyayas together. Tva and tal. What's the difference? No difference. Both are equal good. Kartritva, kartrita. Shitata, shitatva. What's the difference? Difference is tal will give you only feminine word. Therefore, you cannot say shitata. Shitata, it has to come. Top has to come. Striyam, top has to come. You know that much? Now you're fully cleared. Otherwise, you can't make shitata. You will be stuck. Shitata, you will get. Beyond that, you'll be stuck. Now you have to know, once Pratipadika is there, if it's Triyam, I have to go through Striyadhikara. And any further processing I have to do to make it feminine, I have to add one. Now you get Shitata. Now what should you do? You have to make it a Padam. It's still not Padam. It's only a Pratipadika. Now you add Sup. Shitata plus Su will go at Shitata only. Like Lata, Late, Lata. Kam ho gaya. So this is the basics of the whole story. I have taken you through one trip, okay? One round trip. So we will explore this further. I mean, hopefully you get an idea for what taddhita involves. Okay, good conceptual idea. And whether you understand each pratyaya and how it works is second. Now, if you see what is common in taddhita, see, kridanta is always doing karaka vyavahara. All krit pratyayas are added in the sense of a particular karaka. Correct? Taddhita is never added in the sense of a karaka. Then what is taddhita added in the sense of? Remove karakas. What remains? Sheshe kim? Sambandha. Taddhita is all about sambandha. Get it? Don't think only Shashti. Any kind of sambandha. Karaka sambandha is with dhatu will give you krit. Sambandha between two nouns is taddhita. Sambandha between two nouns can also be samasa. Therefore, you will have an option between, sometimes, occasionally, you will also have an option between a kridanta, a taddhita, a samasa for expressing the same meaning. It's your choice. But generally, it will be what? Sambandha. Therefore, what? That's why I said samartha pada vidhi. Samasa and taddhita are pada vidhi. Whereas your krit is not pada vidhi. It is karaka and dhatu. Okay? These are all subtle, small things here and there. But when you understand, you feel some joy in it. Okay, now I understand. Taddhita is only about sambandha. It's always relationship between two nouns. You express the relationship between two nouns either by using a samasa, where both words will continue to exist, or the meaning of one of the nouns is substituted or conveyed by a single pratyaya. Instead of saying Dasharatha Putra, I can say Dasharathasya Putraha, Dasharatha Putraha. Or I can say Dasharathihi. Okay. So we'll stop now. It's time. We'll stop now. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Any questions, anybody? Yes.
Swamiji, I had one doubt.
Mhm.
With Lashakva Taddhita also you cannot remove takara from Adi, right? Because Lashaku.
No, I was talking of Shakara.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking of what we spoke with Harsha earlier?
Tal, yeah, tal.
How did you remove it, Harsha? Tal? Ta? I didn't think enough. Give me a second. Can it go? It can't go, right? Yeah, Adi Takara won't go. Chu, cha will go, ta will go. Ta can't go. We're missing anything? Harsha, any reason you said that?
Sorry, I think I made a mistake.
Yeah, that's it. Leave it there. Correct, Mahida, you're right. I didn't think also. I was only keen on making him say Taddhita part. So that's why I just said Atadhite. That's where I was focused on. But you're right. In Tal, Takara wouldn't have gone. Correct. Valid. Okay. Anything else? All right. So what we will do is this. Next week also we will meet. Okay. So we will take this a little forward, and then you'll have 2 weeks vacation. So you can work on these. And I deliberately went all round today. So these are all homework for you, to be able to make that round trip. Then alone you will gain the real benefit. You should keep in mind the vrddhi, how the vrddhi happened. Achonyati, kiticha, what is vrddhi, vriddhiradaich, all those you should keep in mind. Then you should keep in mind the fact that, what we've seen now, whether it's bha or pada. We have seen this whole thing earlier. 2 times we have seen bha and pada part. So you go back and look at that. So you'll know what is bha or pada. But then we only need to add what? One lakshana vakya. Tasya idam tena kritaha. This is where the Paninian method is a little more complicated, because we have 2 parallel streams running in this taddhita section. One is called arthadhikara, one is called pratyayadhikara. Both will run parallelly. So you have now two parallel things running, and you have to find your exact word you're trying to derive. Where does it fall within the artha series, and where does it run in the pratyaya series? Between those two, you will have to figure out the artha and the pratyaya. And there'll be apavadas for the artha and there'll be apavadas for the pratyaya. That makes taddhitas a little different from all other sections in astadhyayi if we study with sutras. I may not go that far right now. My intention is to first get us up the curve with saying what are the most common taddhita-pratyayas and how do we understand? Matu, twatalau, these kind of things we should know. So that when we see a word, we are able to see what that word means. And if Bhashikara says something, we can quickly identify what it means. Then after going through an introductory taddhita, we will think of what to do next, maybe Kridanta after that. And I'm expecting that will probably be post our retreat in Coimbatore, maybe in Jan. So between now and December, I'm expecting we'll continue with taddhitas. Okay, that's the plan. All right. Okay.